Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
If you don't need to leave your home, don't. That's the message from Illinois' governor as he puts stricter rules in place for the entire state. Only a few dozen votes will decide who represents much of the state line in Springfield. The person on the short end of those totals says it's not over yet. And finding its way home, Rockford's Christmas tree is up and ready for the holidays. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. The fall surge of COVID-19 shows no signs of slowing in Illinois. About 12,600 new cases were confirmed in the last 24 hours. Almost 100 people died. Of those deaths, 8 came from the state line. Region 1 did see a slight drop in the 7-day positivity rate. That benchmark now sits at 20%. Boone County is still seeing the highest rate of the virus, where 31% of those tested come back positive. In the wake of the newest surge, the state of Illinois is putting new restrictions in place. It stops short of a full stay-at-home order. The new mitigations require retailers to operate at 25% capacity. Pharmacies and grocery stores can be at 50%. Bars and restaurants must continue to follow guidance already in place. However, video gaming will be shut down. Health officials say it's a critical move to keep health resources available.
I can't say exactly how long it's going to be, but the numbers will not lie to us. They have consistently given us the story so clearly, everything moving in the same direction. There's nothing to really argue, and when we see what we need to see, we will be the first people to come up here and say, look, we can come pull back.
The new rules start Friday. You can find the full list of changes at mystateline.com. As those new restrictions are put in place, it's up to local governments to enforce them. The city of Rockford's already been trying to ensure businesses follow the rules. Ari Bruckman found out most of them are.
Code enforcement team has been out in full force over the last several weeks. They've investigated more than 200 businesses to see if they're complying with the state-mandated mitigation measures. Here's what we found out. Almost all of them are, about 95%. About 5% were not in compliance and have received orders to disperse. However, only 2 businesses failed their inspections at least 3 times. The city, though, says the last thing it wants to do is shut down businesses.
And that's why we're focusing on very basic things. Mask wearing, for bars and restaurants, keeping a reservation log to make sure if there is a need for contact tracing, we can do that. Providing hand sanitizer, that we've had that requirement since March. Making sure we're not packing people into any establishment, any business. That's basic stuff that we can all follow.
The city would not share who the 2 businesses are. They are subject to a $750 fine for each violation pending a hearing with the city. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
2 weeks after the election, we now know who will represent the 68th House District in Springfield. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. Democrat Dave Vella has come out on top over incumbent Republican John Cabello. It came down to just 239 votes. Vella is a Boylan graduate and is a longtime attorney in the Rockford area. Cabello, a Rockford police officer, has held the seat since 2012. Vella will be sworn in January 13th. Cabello tells us he's waiting for the state to certify the numbers next week. Since it is so close, that's when he will decide whether or not to ask for a recount. We talked to Vella. Hear his plans for the district coming up tonight. Rockford Airport's cargo numbers continue to climb. Over the past few months, more than 650 million pounds of cargo landed at RFD. That's nearly 14% more than the same time last year. Airport executives give credit to e-commerce. That means a surge in flights from companies like Amazon and UPS. RFD expects it to get only busier during the holidays. Plus, there's the potential for PPE shipments and even vaccines. A grassroots effort to bring an Air Force fighter jet to Lena gets some much-needed help. The group received a $500 donation from the Realtor Association of Northwestern Illinois. That brings organizers that much closer to their $150,000 goal. We followed the Northwest Illinois F-4 Jet Memorial Project over the last couple of years. They're at $100,000. The jet is meant to be the centerpiece for a Veterans Memorial.
Joined the group over the past couple of years. Kind of have an affinity for the F-4. It was a very very versatile aircraft. It could be used in practically any situation that was called for, and we just all have some connection with it.
Organizers hope to get the work started on the memorial in the spring. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in downtown Rockford. The official tree is now in place at its new home. Michelle Rave followed its journey to Davis Park this morning.
With surgical precision, crews take down this giant tree, destined to be a beacon of the holidays in the state line.
Christmas is probably my favorite season. I love to see the tree up and decorated.
John Richards is one of the crew members harvesting the tree. But this job doesn't even really feel like a job for him, especially this year.
Hopefully Christmas can bring some happiness to people's lives in a year that's been so challenging.
And this blue spruce is one of the biggest trees to ever grace downtown Rockford.
About total height of around 45 feet and 16 feet wide.
But the tree will have a different home this year.
We couldn't be more excited to bring the tree to Davis Park, a historic park here in Rockford, and we can't wait to decorate even more.
The new venue should provide everyone a lot of room to see the tree.
I would hope that being outside, we can have still plenty of people can come down, take pictures.
Tradition's important for everybody, regardless of what your holiday season or spirit of choice is. Traditions for families, traditions for the community are really important to us at the Rockford area CVB.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
Thousands of U.S. troops remain deployed in Afghanistan and Iraq. We told you yesterday the White House was bringing many of them home. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Today is another critical step in that direction and a result of President Trump's bold leadership. With the blessings of Providence in the coming year, we will finish this generational war and bring our men and women home.
Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller says only 2,500 troops each will remain in both countries by January 15th, just days before President-elect Joe Biden takes office. The move received a mixed reaction from Democrats and Republicans. U.S. Senator from Illinois Tammy Duckworth says the decision will put the soldiers who are staying in danger.
There will be caches of military equipment left behind because we lack the logistic capability to bring all that equipment back. So we bring back half the troops by the beginning of January. That means that we're leaving equipment behind that the Taliban and our enemies can fall in on to use it to then attack the remaining troops that are still in theater.
The president hopes all troops will be home by May. Miller says Biden will make the final call on that. Hate crimes in the U.S. reach a 12-year high. The FBI reports there were more than 7,300 reported hate crimes, the most since 2008. About 4 dozen of those cases were related to murders. The most targeted groups are Jews and African Americans. The Justice Department believes the increase is due to better reporting practices by police departments.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
You know, it wasn't all bad this afternoon, even though our temperatures were a little on the cooler side. We had lots of sunshine, nice day to get out, enjoy some of the fresh air. Got to say a big thank you to Mike for sharing this picture out for a nice walk with Gracie and Bennett and taking the dogs out for a walk today. Actually pretty nice. And this evening is going to be comfortable too. You might have noticed though just a little more cloud cover moving in over the last couple of hours. A live look with our Merced Skytrack camera out in Rochelle, kind of looking off to the northwest, and we do have those clouds building in. Now, even though we see that cloud cover, we are not going to see any precipitation from that. Despite what you see, a couple of blips showing up here on radar, we are pretty dry. Our dew point temperatures today dropped into the teens, so it's been very, very dry, and these numbers will stay fairly low as high pressure continues to stay with us. So this will limit any amount of precipitation that even tries to develop from reaching down to the ground. But there is a warm front off to the west of us, and that warm front inches closer during the day tomorrow. But with that warm front moving in, it is going to help our winds increase, so tomorrow is going to be another windy day. We're 40 in Rockford, 34 in Belvedere, 37 down in Freeport, 36 in Rochelle, and 39 our current temperature now in Dixon. That's the same number our weather watcher Bob is checking in with this last hour. in Rockford, and you notice that dew point number also sitting at 19 degrees. Now that moisture is actually going to increase later this week, and what that'll do is bring in a chance for some rain as we head in towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we stay rain free. We see plenty of sunshine here. Winds start to pick up as we go throughout the day tomorrow. At times tomorrow, gusting near 35 miles per hour. So as the temperature goes up and we keep with that dry air, again, tomorrow and Thursday, we could have that elevated fire risk. So this means you try to do any outdoor burning, it's not watched, and then it could easily spread. So just kind of keep that in mind these next couple of days. We will see a little more cloud cover roll in with a cold front that'll come through early Friday. Now this front will be passing to our south. For the most part, this is actually going to come through dry. That cold front is going to turn into a stationary boundary Friday night and then going into the weekend. High pressure will be building up to our north, so this will feed in that east wind but also bring in that dry air. Now I say messy weekend with a question mark because what happens for the weekend all depends on where exactly that boundary sets up and how strong that high pressure system is and the type of influence it has. If that high isn't very strong, what's going to happen, it'll allow that boundary to lift up to the north. If, however, that high pressure system pushes that stationary boundary to the south, this means most of our weekend is going to stay dry, but could be chilly with that easterly wind, and we likely would not see rain return until we get into Sunday. If, however, that boundary is not as strong and we do feed in some of that drier air, we could actually see some of that rain as early as Saturday. We've got a couple models that want to try to paint in a little bit of snow with that Saturday evening. Not buying that just yet, but then that rain would stay with us into Sunday. So 25 degrees, that's where we head tonight. In fact, that temperature will be very early tomorrow. By sunrise tomorrow, those numbers will be near 30. We're 53 for tomorrow afternoon. Again, that wind is going to be gusting at about 35 miles per hour. We hang on to the wind for Thursday, 59 for Friday. Actually, temperatures stay seasonal as we head into the weekend and staying in the 40s. Could see the 50s by the time we get towards Thanksgiving.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
The book is closed on the Theo Epstein era with the Cubs. He resigned today from his post as president of baseball operations. In 9 years, he brought one World Series championship to the franchise. The thought was there would be more titles, but the Cubs have disappointed since 2016. And with several core players likely to be moved this offseason, Epstein said it's time to step aside and let new president Jed Hoyer restructure the franchise.
First of all, it became really clear that we'd be facing some significant long-term decisions this winter. Decisions with long-term impacts, and those types of decisions are really best made by somebody who's going to be here for a long time. I am so incredibly grateful for the last 9 years. It's been really a life-changing experience.
The Cubs news took some of the spotlight off the struggling Bears. They hit a new low with their loss to the Vikings last night. Matt Nagy offered a glimmer of hope today when he told the media Nick Foles' hip injury does not appear to be severe.
Nick, everything looked, it was good so far for us looking at it. It became good news in regards to his hip/glute. So that was good news for us. It wasn't as bad as we once thought. So he'll be working through that here as we go.
Nagy also said Bill Lazor will continue to call the offensive plays when the Bears return from their bye week. The Packers are getting healthier. They have activated receiver Alan Lazard. And Rockford Lutheran graduate Nate Wheating is getting another shot at the NFL. He's been signed to the New York Giants practice squad. Wheating's a tight end. He was with the Browns over the summer and with the Dolphins in training camp, but he was released by both teams. The Milwaukee Bucks are doing all they can to put a championship team around Giannis. They made two big moves. They've acquired point guard Jrue Holiday from New Orleans for a package of players and draft picks. That package includes Eric Bledsoe. Holiday averaged 19 points per game last season. He's also one of the best defensive point guards in the NBA. The Bucks also got forward Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Kings for a package of players. Bogdanovic averaged 15 points per game last season.
Our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got the cloud cover this evening. No rain, and those clouds will clear out, leaving us with sunshine and wind for our Wednesday. Temperatures in the 50s, 60s by Thursday.
50s and 60s look great. Thank you, Candice, and thank you for spending a little bit of your time with us. Stay safe.